6-0 final. Dan Dickerson's call. Tigers beat the Padres. Best team in the NL. Beat by the best team in the AL. Makes you think. It's early, but the staff is real. Reese Olson looked great. Best start of the season for him, and he's been, quote, the weak link statistically. He's got the lowest or the highest ERA of the bunch, but the Tigers keep finding ways to win. Off day today. Tonight, we shift to the Pistons and the NFL draft. You can watch along with us. We'll have the stream going. Pistons get things started at 7, John. And we asked that question, true or false, the winner of tonight wins the series. If the Knicks win this game, I don't think the Pistons are out of the series, so I have to say false. But if the Pistons win, and that's back-to-back wins for Detroit, that's a legitimate breakthrough, not just, they found a way to win game 2, but a legitimate breakthrough. You've got them on their heels for game 4. The crowd's activated, and if you got to go back to New York, you're not intimidated. Yeah, it sure feels like the Pistons can win the series.
Well, and the Pistons capitalizing on what they did in the regular season as well. Like, now they have played 6 times, and the Pistons have won 4 of those 6. Regular season was 3-1. So, yeah, they've got all the confidence in the world, and it changed. A lot of things change in the postseason. Intensity changes. And we talked to JB earlier in the season. One of the things I thought was very important that he talked about was, as you are in a playoff position, as you get past the All-Star break, how do you get the guys focused? What is it that you're working on? And he mentioned at that time, it's not just every game matters. Every quarter matters. Every possession matters. Hammering that home, we saw it in the fourth quarter on Saturday night. Every possession matters. And when you waste possessions, you waste opportunities. They wasted a golden opportunity. They could be up 2-0 in this series. Should be up 2-0. They learned from that. And it's been something that JB has been hammering home for months. How important every time you have that ball in your possession, coming away with a quality possession. It doesn't always mean a bucket. That's the ideal way.
Yeah.
But coming away with a quality possession, a good look at the basket, a good shot matters when you're trying to make the playoffs, but certainly when you're in the playoffs. And it costs them a 21-0 run. That's a lot of empty possessions that you had that you didn't come away with. They learned from Saturday to Monday.
Fell on their face, picked themselves up, found a way to win. You find a way to win tonight. It's a trend. It's real. It's happening. John, you said you don't think tonight's going to be officiated.
I don't think it changes from anything that we saw in those first 2. Obviously, Jalen Brunson's not going to change how he plays. He's not going to change his whiny face. And so it's just something that we have to deal with as fans watching it, right? This is how he plays. This is going into it. We understand exactly what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and bait and hunt for fouls.
But I think how the game's officiated matters.
Yeah, but I think the NBA looks at this and goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Thibodeau, but we actually called more fouls on the Pistons.
Oh, I want to be clear. I don't think he has a leg to stand on. The Pistons were called for 24 fouls. The Knicks were called for 22. But when a coach starts doing this, chatting in the media, begging for calls.
He's whistling in the graveyard because the NBA is looking at it going, look at the facts. Your guy had 1 less free throw than their guy. We called more fouls on those guys than we did on you guys. Officials look at that too.
I know. But we've seen this where officiating isn't always consistent game to game, let alone quarter to quarter. Even in game 2, it wasn't officiated consistently. At the end of that game, they were trying to make up for the first 3 quarters, and they started calling everything, and Asar Thompson fouls out. I won't rule out the fact that Brunson gets, whether it's earned or not, some BS makeup calls tonight. And how do the Pistons handle it? How does the crowd handle it? I'd like to see a little more Ron Holland tonight. Let's use a few more of those fouls. And just use him as menace minutes. Give him 6 to 8 minutes where you just throw him on Jalen Brunson and press him and make him work. Because if you're going to call a couple more fouls, let's be prepared for that. I think Ron Holland could have a little bit of a role tonight.
Oh, I sure he could. And this is where I think JB really, is important in regards to how he manages the minutes of Malik Beasley. How he manages the minutes of those starters. Like we saw Tobias Harris get 43 minutes. Cade Cunningham had 42 minutes. And is he going to edge up the minutes a little bit of Malik Beasley, of Dennis Schroeder, of Paul Reed? I don't think we see more Paul Reed, but I think we see some quality minutes from him. And Ron Holland had 5 minutes. Do we see 7 or 8? Because that's 3 minutes off somebody else that matters when you get to the fourth quarter. That's fouls that maybe Asar Thompson isn't getting that you could put on Ron Holland.
You've got to manage Menace minutes.
Menace minutes, yeah. And we didn't even talk about Isaiah Stewart.
Huge story if he's going to play. I know it's questionable, the knee inflammation.
6 more fouls.
6 more fouls.
Now, you just got to make sure that they're all in the course of play.
So the Knicks don't shoot a lot of threes. So that means they got to get to the hoop consistently. And it's why Isaiah Stewart makes a big difference when he plays in this series. Now, Duren stepped up big in game 2 without him. That's another huge key tonight. With or without Isaiah Stewart, Duren's going to play big minutes and has to do a nice job around the rim. And Karl Anthony Towns is going to come back with a counterpunch. I mean, he was held scoreless in the second half against the Knicks. They're going to find a way to get him some touches around the paint. Fine, but you got to battle him, and that's why an extra body in Isaiah Stewart would make a big difference. I mean, they won without Isaiah Stewart. I'm not sitting here telling you if he doesn't play, they're screwed.
No, but it would be nice to have that force in there.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have those extra 6 fouls so that Jalen Duren, like he did in game 1, has 3 early in the game, and then he's limited in how aggressive he can play, or you just look at it going, okay, well, we just got to be careful with him. We got to manage him a little bit more.
Come on, guys. The winner of tonight's game doesn't mean they're winning the series. That someone says false.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you know what? And I said they win in 6, and everybody said, oh, well, no, they can't win. Like, this is what we do. I'm going to argue the fact that it matters, but we ultimately won't know until the series is over.
Are you guys dumb enough to do double-digit disco on a playoff game? No.
Not me.
I don't think we're done. I'm looking at you. I'm not doing it. He said the series was over when the Tigers went up 2-1 against the Guardians. Pistons need to close out and win convincingly, regardless if they win tonight.
Sure they do.
Yeah. A test of a true young team. How do they deal with success? That's Tom's big thing. Tom, you thought they would be in a position where they would win game 3, but be tested.
Yeah, I think the series has gone how I thought. Lose game 1, win game 2. I thought they'd split there. Win game 3.
Let down.
And I think Sunday afternoon is going to provide that. I think a 1 o'clock start sucks. I said that when we talked about this, that the schedule did them no favors. Plus, the Knicks will get 1 extra day than typical. It's not every other day. Just kind of.
Why does a 1 o'clock start on Sunday matter?
It's terrible for the NBA. I've seen it so many times, John, with a home team up 2-1, and I've never seen in any sport a team fail to win a series when they're up 2-1 more than the NBA. It's just part of the makeup of the momentum, and when a team is down, like I've seen a lot of really, really, really good NBA teams fall down 2-1, and then they're kind of like, yeah, let's go. I remember the Pistons, the glorious bad boys back in the day, fell down 2-1 to Michael Jordan's Bulls, like in '88. It was weird. And then it's kind of like, okay, we got to get crap here. Now, are the Knicks that good? No. But I do think they have a backbone, and that will show come Sunday. I think tonight the Pistons, there's so much going their way. I was just a little puzzled by, look, if the Knicks are not, they're not bickering yet in terms of internally at each other. They've already said something about the refs. Thibodeau did, but if that happens, it changes everything. It changes my opinion.
Let me paint a scenario for you. The crowd's great. The Pistons, who led essentially wire to wire in game 2, do the same in game 3. You've already played the officiating card in the media. Now what? Now do we get some of the bickering? Now do we get some of the infighting? Now do we get some of the frustrations of, oh no, the Knicks are going to choke?
You know what? But I do think on the road in that moment, if they are challenged and their backs up and they know they have to win game 4, that I think being on the road helps them in that spot.
I don't know, because now I have a Pistons crowd that's activated, having just seen a win on Thursday night.
It won't be the same Sunday no matter what. It won't. It won't. It'll be a late arriving church crowd.
That's a public challenge from Tom.
It will.
Miller.
I've seen it so many times.
You guys are going to be soft on Sunday. You're going to show up with a half-ass attitude and effort on Sunday, fans. You heard it from Tom.
Mail it in.
Heck, I remember it in. There's some sort of psyche thing about being at home in these early games, and these players are kind of, they're staying at home. They're in their routine. I remember the Red Wings used to do it in their heyday.
I'll use a word you love. I think the fans will relish the chance to be up 2-1 and have that game on Sunday at Little Caesars Arena. Relish that opportunity.
What Jared Goff says we are?
Relish in negativity.
I just look. I'm not being a hater here. I picked the Knicks in 7. Thing has gone exactly how I thought, and I thought it'd be a war. And you guys know I said I thought it was 51-49 Knicks.
War continues tonight, 7 o'clock. Coming up next, more on the NFL draft. It's 97.1.